Hi there, this is Patty, and I am going to show you a few tips today using my digital studio and creating your own stationery. I've had some samples on my blog. You may have seen them on pattystamps.com. Several different stationery styles that I have made. So today I'm just going to show you real quickly how to get started and make your own stationery using one of the designer kit templates. On the left side of my screen, I have my designer kit template that I opened from the Summer Home Designer Kit. And it's normally a scrapbook page, so you would open this and use it as part of a scrapbook, adding your photos and your text. But what I'm going to do is to delete the photo boxes and some of the embellishments that I don't want, and then on the right side, that's what I came up with. That was my finished piece, and as you can see, what I do is cut it in half. Then I have two half sheets of stationery to use, maybe enclose it in a card or in a Stampin' Up! Order. Okay, so first thing, like I said, we don't need the photo boxes, so I'm going to delete those. I'm just clicking my mouse on them and deleting them. And then even though this scalloped label is adorable, I'm not going to use it in this particular project. So I click on it and I click delete, and then I'm going to click that little, I don't know, that was some sort of text there. I'm going to click that text box and delete it. Click on the and delete it, delete you, delete me, and now I have some embellishments left, and that's what I'm going to work with. Now if you'll notice on the right side, I did not use this particular grouping of embellishments with the green flower. So a quick way to delete them all at once is to click your mouse, hold it down, and drag a box around everything that you want to either move or delete or copy, and then I'm just going to click my delete key and now it's gone. I'm going to save my project because I just like to save things often, and I want to use these other embellishments both on the bottom of the page and the top of the page. So there's several ways I could go about this, but I think what I'll do at first is to select those and say copy, paste, offset, and then I can click and drag those up to the top of the page where I'm going to use them. Okay, so that now I've duplicated those, and that was really easy to duplicate. And then I'm going to add my white piece of paper. There are several ways you can do that, but the way that I have become most accustomed to is to click on background papers in the upper right, click on cardstock, and Whisper White is already highlighted because I use that a lot. Then I'm going to click Add as Page Layer. If I were to come over here and click OK, it would change my entire background to white, and I don't want to do that. I just want to add a layer on top of my background. So I click Add as Page Layer. It gave me a piece of white, and I'm going to move it up here sort of to where I want it. I'm going to stretch it over. Now it's telling me that it will pixelate, or it may pixelate, but white cardstock doesn't pixelate, so I don't have to worry about that little pop-up box. I just say OK. Now you'll notice it covered my flowers. What I'm going to do is come up here to Change Object Layer, click on that, and I'm going to say Send to Back. And that made my flowers pop up to the front. What I'm going to do next is come up here and say Edit, Lock Object. What that just did was it locked my white cardstock down to my Kiwi Kiss background, so that if I were to click over here somewhere on it and accidentally drag my mouse, it's not going to move. What this also allows me to do is to click and drag and highlight that selection of flowers and move it down here towards the bottom where I wanted it, or where I have the other selection. And then I'm going to click and drag and highlight the other set of flowers, and I'm going to move it up here up to the upper left hand corner, and that's approximately where I'd like it. So that's the other thing I like to do is make sure I add shadows to all of my embellishments. So what I'm going to do is just click on one embellishment, come over here to my embellishment menu, click on the drop shadow, and I am going to click on here that I want to add embellishments to everything on this page. Okay, okay, and then I don't have to select all of them. They just all automatically have those shadows. So that's a really quick way to do shadows. Okay, the last thing I need to duplicate down here is this brown flower with the button in the center. So if I click and drag my box around it to select it, you notice it also selected this scallop piece and it also selected this background flowery paper. I do not want to select those and move those, so I'm going to hold my control key and click that scallop. It unselected it from this group, and then I'm going to click on that flowered background paper to unselect that as well. And then I'm going to click my copy button, paste offset, go down here and put my mouse on top of that and click and drag and move it somewhere up here. Doesn't have to be the exact spot, you know, it's just kind of wherever I want it. And now I have the top half pretty well set the way I want it. And then I would just do the same thing on the bottom. And to add my name or my address, my blog, whatever I want on there, you can either come up here to the top and click the T for add text, or you could go to the right side in the design center and click text. But the one on the top is the fastest way to add your text box. And what I like to do is kind of size my box approximately to the size that I think I'm going to want it and move it into place, and then I would go ahead and type my text. And I could change my font, make it bigger, make it smaller, whatever I want to do. But I would add as much as I want, and then of course click save, because you know you want to save your project often. The last thing was to put this white piece down the center, and to do that, again, there are several ways to do it, but let me just show you a second way so that you have a second option of how to add a piece of layered paper. I'm going to add a punch. I'm going to do the square punch, and I'm just going to drag it so that it covers all the way across, and it can go off the edge, that's fine. Then I'm going to make it about that big, and I'm going to center it over here between the 5 and the 6 so that I can cut at 5.5. And then I'm going to do color fill, and I'm going to select Whisper White and say OK. And that made it white. And what happens is when I print this stationery just on regular copy paper on my printer, it gives me a little white border about just a little bigger than 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So that way when I cut down the middle of this white piece, then I have a white border on all 4 sides. And that's kind of why I added that. You may need to adjust that for your particular printer. Whew, so there you go. I think that should be a help in getting you started on changing some of the templates into other things. And of course, this could have been a full page flyer, it could be a newsletter, could be a full sheet of stationery, 2 half sheets. You could even make quarter sheets this way, whatever you want to do. I hope that helped, and I hope you'll come visit me again. Thanks. Bye.